So if you go to, you guys looked at the dictionary recently? See, everything's in there. Everything's in there. So yeah, they didn't leave out any words this year. They put all the words in, and what are the new words? I guess I can. It says they added 690 new words this month. These include but are not limited to riz, romantic appeal or charm, zhuzh, a small improvement, adjustment, or addition that completes the overall look, taste. I don't know that one. Doggo, fuck you. Padawan, a young person. So keep us updated on all that. So okay. So that part's over. So on to the next thing. So hey, what about those people out there, huh? You know, whoever's out there. What about them? What do you think? I think that we should be moving away from the whole like make your voice heard messaging, like in the media and like in the news. I don't think that it's helping it very much. That much. Like in a functional way, yes, democracy is good, but I think inviting people to just kind of like rant on about stuff that really just kind of like builds this sense of identity that they use as a bulwark against anything that they don't understand and are thus afraid of. But we just kind of encourage it. And then they become more avid consumers of news media generally, because now it's like a chemical thing. They have to like get their fix of whatever they're getting out of it. So it just seems like a bad way to do business. You know what I mean? Maybe the new messaging should just be like, hey, sit down and shut up, tune in. I'm talking. I'm the only one who gets to talk. Look, if you want to talk, just do this. Anybody could do this. If nobody watches it, then that's just the free market in action. So I don't see the problem. I didn't come here to give you pancake recipes. I don't know any. So it's good. It's good that I wasn't planning to tell you that, because I don't have that information. I can tell you the kinds of recipes I enjoy eating. I know what the food tastes like after it's made, but I don't know how it's made. Wouldn't that be amazing if there was like a Rain Man type of chef who could like reverse engineer food in his mouth, and anything he ate, he could instantly determine exactly the quantities of ingredients and the process used to cook it. Wouldn't that be interesting? Shouldn't they make a movie about that? Okay, here's a better idea. What if it's two guys? So it's almost like a buddy cop movie, except they're two chefs with an incredible superpower to determine the recipe of any food they consume simply by tasting it. They would work undercover, you see, for competing companies. So like Burger King would hire them to go to McDonald's. They would eat the food. They'd be able to tell you exactly how it was made. And do you know what this shit is called? It's called the Taste Buds. And it's going to make $70 billion. Investors are interested. I'm sure the Koch brothers watch this or something. Like, come on, don't I have a little cred for I don't know, I'm a white guy. Help me out. I'm fine with the way my life is. I don't need any more money. Actually, the opposite of that is true. I need a lot more money. Or I have to move to like wherever I can. I mean, I'd have to move to like sub-Saharan Africa or something. Just subsist on like hyena meat. I don't know what else. What else I could do. I would definitely have to just subsist in the wilderness. There's no in between. Like it's either I get like $200 more in my paycheck every month, or see you later. I'm gonna get eaten by a gazelle slowly. I tried, I got a job and everything, but it just wasn't enough, so the gazelle wins, so fuck it. Would a gazelle eat you as quickly as at the speed that people associate with gazelles. I mean, there's only one way to find out, just like first-hand experience. So go do it. That's your homework. Report back. You know, things happen in life and you end up in situations that don't make any sense, that you didn't really, but you just still have to go with it. Is that relatable enough? Has this ever happened to you? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about the inexorable march of time? Yeah, Jay. We know about the linear flow of time. And you know, the thing that Jay Leno doesn't understand, you know, about time, is that it continues to go forward, even after you die, and you're just a skeleton driving a fancy sports car. Because that's what happens when you die, is that you just turn into a skeleton. You can do everything you did before. You're just a skeleton now. So it's good to acquire material wealth. It's good to devote all of your time on Earth to gathering as many possessions as possible. Because once you're a skeleton and you live forever as a skeleton, you're going to be bored and you're going to want to have toys. Because this is how it works, right? Isn't that what this is? Or is it something different? I'm thinking of like an old Disney cartoon, I think. Well, somebody should like fact check those. Why don't they put like a little Twitter disclaimer? Why don't you Snopes this? This doesn't seem right, but I believe it because I'm 3. I didn't really think, just to be clear, I didn't really think that that's what happened when you die, but it's funny to think that I might have thought that. Is that funny? Is it funny to think that it's funny to have thought that? You can donate. I'm actually collecting hair. If you have any hair that you don't want, I'll take it. And I'm just gonna dump it in a river somewhere. I'm not doing it for money, I'm just doing it for the love of dumping hair in the river. So I can't watch YouTube on there. But I'm pretty confident the audio as it is has no problems. Because the meter looks right. So I gotta go with that. I have to trust the meter. Which is actually the opposite of what they would tell you and what they told us in school. When we studied audio, they would say don't just look at the meter, you have to actually listen to the fucking song instead of relying on the visual input to determine if something sounds good. Maybe I'm making all this up. Maybe I actually went to school to learn how to play the bongos. I did 8 years. Yeah, I got a doctorate in playing bongos. I actually completely forgot how to even play. They always say once you learn bongos, it's just like riding a bike, you never forget. And I said, cool, so I don't have to practice. Then I forgot completely. I don't even know what a bongo is. I don't even recognize the shape of it anymore. Like, if you put it in front of me, I'd be like, I'm not sure I recognize what that is. Because I was playing Words with Friends nonstop for 12 years. And eventually my life spiraled out of control. And then I had to play a game called Words with a Psychologist. And it wasn't really a game, it was actually ordered by a physician. And he said, you can only play Words with Friends with me. And then they put me in a solitary confinement. I didn't even do a crime. Seemed like overkill. You have to come over so we can play GoldenEye 64. It's a Nintendo 64 game that I made. My name's James Bond. I like to play my little video game that I'm in. I look like a little man in it, but I'm the real man. I'm the real James Bond. Wow, I just understood, like, simulation theory. I hate it when I understand that. I hate understanding. Don't have any more advice. I think you should just talk to somebody who can actually help you. Just talk to animals. Talk to bugs. Bugs have a lot to say. They say there's one that goes for like 3 months out of the year. The cicada. I'd just be walking in the middle of a city with one tree, and there's just one guy there going, it's like, what is that? Are we on the bayou? Like, what is this? It's like, no, it's just a cicada making the loudest fucking noise that ever exists, that ever was. I don't get how is a bug loud? You know, how is a bug loud? I can understand bugs making sounds, but how is it so piercingly powerful? Well, like many things, there's an answer. Male cicadas use drum-like structures on their abdomen called tymbals to create a loud, high-pitched buzz to attract female companions. People also ask, how do you make cicadas shut up? Oh, you can squeeze their thorax between the thumb and forefinger and gradually increase pressure until the insect quits vibrating and making that buzzing sound. Then keep squeezing. They will eventually shut up. Who the fuck wrote this? I guess I can't complain if I'm not willing to squeeze the thorax, then I can't complain that nature is the way it is. I think every county in America has a county cicada thorax squeezer. Look, this is your tax money, so do something about it. This says cicadas can make as much noise as a motorcycle. No one should be that horny. So I'm thinking of going to wherever the Smurfs lived. I'm thinking of going there on my next vacation, and I booked the tickets, and when I find out, they tell me it's a fictional location, and I said, okay, well, why is it an option on your website? And then suddenly, like, these guys in black suits showed up at my house, and they said, you don't say anything about the Smurfs. So, I'm putting a lot on the line to tell you this. I think Americans like to stand in the driveway and just shoot at their car with a gun. Gives them a reason to buy a new car. If that's not a thing, I think it should be. Because it sounds fun, and I would like to do it. And I think it's actually my right to do it. And I want to shoot at my car. Because I fucking hate my car. I like my car. Look, I don't want to... I don't want my car to hear this. I like my car, I just don't like that I have to have a car. My car is great, my car is doing a great job. I don't want it to find out, I don't want it to get too big of a head. You know, it's bad for gas mileage as well. Having a car, it's a curse. It's a prison made out of liberation. It's like you can go wherever you want, but this is like a thing that you pay for a lot in terms of money, in terms of monetarily. I mean, my car has been fine, but it won't be, because that's what happened with my previous vehicle. That's why I got a new one. Also, I shot it with a machine gun, and the mechanic said that was a big part of really why it had to be, I had to move on. And I said, look, she still runs, she still purrs. And then it exploded, so. Mechanic 1, me 0, I guess trust the experts, I don't think you should be automatically suspicious when it comes to mechanics. I'm just basing this on my own experience. So it could actually just be that I'm just stupid. But I actually don't know what I'm talking about. And I have been ripped off so many times, and the reason I've been able to be ripped off is because I don't care about being ripped off. I just want to get it over with. Like, I will pay $100 more because I'm standing in this building and I don't want to go to a different building. It's like a reverse ACAB. All mechanics are good people, inherently. If it's not currently true, it is now required by law. I don't know. Can I do anything? Do I have any power? I have the power to see what time it is. I know someone who not only has that power, but embodies the power. And let me just say a few more things about time. Time is the clock that moves the flesh forward into eternity. We got a guy to tell you what time it is. And he does have a name, and I can tell you what that name is right now without getting very upset, because I have a complicated relationship with the host of Time Check. But his name is Slurp Von Lipstick. Here he is, waltzing in here like a fucking dickhead, and I'll let him take over. Yeah, thanks. Always a good intro. And time for me, Slurp Von Lipstick, everybody's favorite guy. Different from that guy. Getting some comments lately that we look slightly similar. And I can see the resemblance, but, maybe it's just similar physiognomy. Am I saying it right? Please tell me. I only know about time. I don't know how to pronounce strange words. As I live and breathe, as I look upon the clock provided to us by Bill Gates, it's 10:44 p.m. There's a little drip in the old sink, and it just keeps on going. It's hard to believe that there are parts of the world that don't have enough water, because I usually feel like I have too much. Shit is wet a lot around me. And I don't mean, I literally just mean inanimate objects. And I'm not causing it. It's coming from somewhere else, but I'm involved. I mean, you do the dishes and you have to change your shirt. If you're me, you have to, because of the particular way I stand. Why does this happen to me? And I just realized why they have aprons. But I'm not going to wear a fucking apron doing the dishes. I'm not going to wear an apron in any situation in my life. And that's not an invitation to try to imagine me in an apron, unless you're into that. It's not my right to police your kink. But I'm Slurp Von Lipstick, and if I know a thing or two about kinks, it's that, I really like time. Time kind of gets me going. I like to think of it passing. Really, all I need to get there, I just need a clock. I want to be really careful that I'm saying clock. A grandfather clock. The big bong. One bong, and I'm a one bong guy sometimes. What can I say? So, yeah, so that's the time. Bye. Wow. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I bumped into him at the grocery store recently, and he was just he was using a laundry basket as a shopping cart, and he said, yeah, I'm on my way to go pick up laundry, but I thought I'd stop to pick up some stuff first, and I'll put it in this. And so I said, so where are you going to put the clothes? There's no room. And he just looked at me, and he started to cry. Because he realized how much of a fucking idiot he is. But it didn't make him any smarter. He's still stupid. He just knows he's stupid now. He just broke down crying, and he was there for another few hours. I came back later in the day, and the police were there. He wasn't really threatening anybody, but he was crying so violently that it was disturbing to people. And if only he was here to correct the record of what I'm saying, but unfortunately he doesn't watch this. He just gets in his fucking helicopter and he goes to his secret mansion, which I'm helping to fund, by the way. He's charging me an arm and a leg to do the most pointless fucking bullshit you've ever seen in your life. All the pomp, all the circumstance, for what? What is he compensating for? What's missing? What's missing in his life? He has 4 identical boys that he refuses to acknowledge exist, and yet they live in his home. They are related to him, and I checked, but he pretends they don't exist, and he acts like I'm insane for bringing them up. I'm not imagining his children. They're real. They've never said a word to me, and I've never heard one speak. So his life situation is confusing. It's not how a good person lives. Slurp Von Lipstick wrote an op-ed in the paper coming out in favor of putting children in the sewers. He said children should live in the sewer. They're smaller. They don't need all that space. and they'll build up an immunity to various bacteria. And then he posted another op-ed saying, hey, just to follow up on that idea, what if we never let them out? That was the whole op-ed, verbatim. And he got a little bit of backlash, but he also got a little bit of support. And at that point, there was a Putting Children in the Sewer campaign that started to develop out of that, really like a grassroots thing too. Like, it was actually kind of inspiring to see that kind of mobilization for a political project. Unfortunately, the cause was, called into question by others. And as you know, this was tried out actually in a Swedish city. They kind of took it on as a pilot program. And they put the kids down in the sewers. They said, this is where you live. You can eat the rats or the turds or whatever. Ooh, somebody voted for it. So, not you. Have fun. And they're all still down there. And some say that when they look in the sewer manhole covers, they see their eyes glowing red, and then hissing noises and grunting. It's just nice to hear that, like, you can actually make change in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can have an idea and make it a reality. Say what you want about Slurp Von Lipstick. You can also say that. There's a little separation between his thought and action. That makes him a vessel for God. Unfortunately, God's plan for him fucking sucks. It's bad. But it must be necessary for him. I can't possibly fathom how or why. I don't really care. Slurp Von Lipstick, he's on his own journey, and I'm willing to forgive him, even though he says Reese's Pieces. Slurp Von Lipstick knows how much it annoys me. He will leave voice memos on my phone. He sends me a voice memo where he says Reese's Pieces. And I become so enraged. And I see demons, and I'm plunged into a psychological hell. If this is part of the Slurp Von Lipstick story, that he has to be this fucking annoying and awful, then so be it. I forgive him. I forgive you, Slurp Von Lipstick. So this makes me a pretty good guy. This basically makes me Jesus. This actually makes me better than Jesus. Jesus didn't have to meet Slurp Von Lipstick. It might have gone differently if he had. I'm very doubtful humanity would be forgiven for their sins. I don't think it ever would have happened. Okay, it's only an hour and 4 minutes. What can you do with 26 minutes? You can, it's not quite an episode of The Office. Maybe it's an episode of The Office with, like, the bloopers or the deleted scenes. That was always fun on the DVD. Don't you miss the deleted scenes from the DVD? Sometimes they used to have, like, little games. So it was like a big budget thing. It was fun. It's a fun time. There have been a lot of fun things in my life. I'm kind of like of the opinion that, human civilization is kind of just like it's got one foot out the door. But I'm just thinking we had some good times. We had water parks. We had cats and dogs. Pretty good. We got along. They liked us, so we can't be that bad. We got to have sunsets. I was trying to think of funny things to say, but now I'm actually thinking of real things that are nice. Isn't that nice? It's actually kind of fucking gay, to be honest. Hey, what about boobs? Hey. Hey, what about boobs, So, those are fine. You know what else was good? Airport bars. You gotta love an airport bar. Maybe this is just me, but I think picking your nose is pretty good. When the surface of the earth is just like covered in dust, advanced civilizations will do archaeological digs and uncover texts about picking one's nose. Read the descriptions of picking one's nose, even detailed descriptions, but they don't have any idea what it's like to have picked one's nose. They don't understand the satisfaction of it. They couldn't possibly understand. So what that means is when you pick your nose, enjoy it. And eat the booger if you want. Well, this isn't your grandmother's stream. Your grandmother's stream is awesome though. She knits 9 p.m. Sundays on Twitch. Check it out. She was really nice. She talks about you. She says a lot about you. You should watch. She says a lot about you. Man. She dishes. It makes me think differently of you, actually. But she's chill as fuck. So if you want to pay $700 for my course, we're gonna sit under a waterfall and we're gonna scream. That's it, no talking, no cell phones. You actually have to throw your cell phones down into the waterfall. You're gonna thank me for that later. I got a guy who's gonna go get them, and he's gonna bring them back to you. Don't worry about it. I also should mention that the guy I sent down there to get the cell phones, he actually died several years ago, and I'll let you guess what he was doing. So it was slippery rocks. So I forgot about that. I forgot that horrible, horrible thing happened in my life. So I'm still going to throw the cell phone down the waterfall, but it's going to be for keeps. As in the waterfall is going to keep the phone, because I'm not sending a guy down there. It's obviously too dangerous. I've been fighting some of the best lawyers, and they don't even need the best lawyers. You know why? Because it's an easy open and shut case. Do you know why? It's because I poured soap all over the rocks first. They were even more slippery, so that he would slip and fall and die. Do you know why I wanted to kill him? Well, we got in an argument on the game FAQs forum, and he said that the optimal resolution to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is 1280 by 720. And I said, you are a coward and a fool. The era of 4K is upon us. Let us bathe in its glory. Let's play Star Wars in 4K. And he was having none of it. And it got to the point where our anger couldn't be conveyed properly in a game FAQs forum. And so what we did is we took out like an old piece of parchment and a quill, and we would just angrily scrawl letters and send them in the post. And we were just, it was like Benjamin Franklin just like eviscerating a rival or something like that. It was incredible. Like, it's so cool to be a dude. This is what dudes do. And I killed him. I hired him to go fetch cell phones down at the bottom of the waterfall. And I've already confessed to this. I'm in prison right now. However, if I don't think that it's jail, then it's not jail. I have free will. I need to exercise it to the best of my ability. To the furthering of my development. But how do I do that? How do you do it? How do you do that? Maybe if I just keep talking about it, it'll happen. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't seem right. Maybe up to a point, it's right. But after you see that words aren't really what you're after, you think you're after words. You think you're after concepts, but you're actually after whatever the pool is that the last concept will serve as the board for you to dive off into. Like, what's that last concept gonna be? For my money, we're talking about God there. That's the last stop for concepts. But there's quite a bit more down the road. That's what I think. And that's what most religions in one way or another are basically communicating that same basic concept that transcends concepts. So good luck thinking about that, bitch. You thought you could think about everything? I definitely won't stop you from trying. So keep it up, look alive, and send me spam emails. Send me a spam. I just like to know that, like, companies are interested in me. They're interested in getting my money. They're never going to get it, but it feels good to be, solicited. Like, I get an email from Airbnb, which I used one time in my entire life. Every single week. So why not spend a weekend in the sewer with the sewer kids? I mean, that is becoming a big tourist thing. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the silver lining to Slurp-On Lipstick's horrible damage he's done on the world. But that town, man, the tourism, people wanted to see those creepy little fucks down there. And they could. They were willing to, fork over the dough. And it got to the point where some of the kids would kind of like stick their hands out through a sewer grate and they'd be given, you know, money, which doesn't make any sense. There's no economy in the sewer. So what are they going to do with it? They're going to give it to a rat to trade for a half-eaten hamburger? Maybe. You don't know what goes on. Like I said, you don't know everything, so... Unlike me, I figured everything out. Everything's stupid and shitty. That's what I figured out. That must be the truth. You know it's the truth. I don't really like the, like, trend of people who... I mean, these are generally, like, very cynical people, but it's always like, well... They're too smart to not be depressed. It's like, that's not how anything works. You're a dumbass. Believe it or not, there are quite a few intelligent people who are not depressed. I'm not one of them. I'm neither of those things. I'm not depressed, and I'm not intelligent. So if you had fun, good. Because I don't make any money from this or my actual job. So you gotta wonder what I'm doing. Not really sure. But yeah, maybe I'll just, I don't know. Maybe I'll just establish a sovereign nation that has its own currency. And if the government ever comes after me and tells me I can't do that, I'll be like, well, that's what you did. How'd you become a government? And then I'll just write blank checks. Driving is a horrible thing to have to do. This week, it has been a nightmare. Because somehow every single street there's work being done continuously, like all the way to work. And then I had a no you go situation with two people going into the same crosswalk simultaneously. I was trying to make a left through the crosswalk. The stopping itself is the inconvenience, because that means I have to do something, but it's fine. It's the rules. But now you're saying no, stop now. Just no, like it's already stopped, so I'll just continue to do what I'm doing. I will just chill. Truly, there's quite a dance to it, indeed. I mean, I guess if you framed it like it was like a nature documentary of like people living in the city, it could be narrated very charmingly by like David Attenborough. I'd pay to watch that. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I would just use someone's account to log in to watch it on whatever platform, on Gooby or whatever. All that shit's on Gooby. They're moving everything to Gooby, including this. This is actually on Gooby. I know you might think it looks like YouTube, but no, you actually typed in Gooby.com and this video came up. Don't look closer. It's Gooby.com. Yeah, we already have 1 million users. Yeah, we're hard up for labor, so we just, instead of setting up bots, we just put ants on a keyboard. We made all the accounts, and the ants just go, they do whatever they do. It's kind of life I wish I could live, you know. Well, that's all for today.